Hey everyone, it's Lynette Chandler from Thrive Anywhere. So today I wanted to show you how to customize one of our brand new planners using Microsoft PowerPoint. I've received quite a number of questions regarding this and what can actually be customized. So I figured I would just run through this with you. And a lot of our planners, the way to customize it is very similar to this. Of course, different planners have different design elements and so on and forth. But I'm going to jump right ahead. I'm just going to let you know that this is completely live. I'm going to make mistakes because, quite frankly, PowerPoint is not what I normally use to edit my planners. All of our planners are created in Adobe InDesign, and that's what I use. So I'm most comfortable and most familiar with using Adobe InDesign. And even though I've a lot of experience with PowerPoint, sometimes I do forget where some things are. So without further ado, let me just jump right in there and let's open up this file. Let me first of all switch my screen so you're not just watching me, that you can see the screen here. All right, so right now you should be able to see my file here opened in PowerPoint, and I'm going to move my screen so you're not just so I can actually. All right. So okay, so this is the planner that we released here at Thrive Anywhere in our store, and it has proved to be a really popular one. And as we said, all these are templates. All our products that all our planners and journals and workbooks we created are templates that you can basically use. You can customize pretty much everything on these pages, and you can change them or use them as a template to just simply, swap it into a totally different type of topic if you wanted to. But really the easiest way is just to put your name on it and change your colors and so on and forth. So that's what I'm going to do today. Now we're going to start with the cover because that's pretty much what most of us see, and probably most of us will not be using the cover that is delivered. At least that's what I would do if I bought this planner template from somebody else. I would definitely remove this image. First of all, it's not on my brand, and second of all, I will also want it to be unique to me. Even though the other pages may not be 100% unique, but because the cover is what somebody sees first, that's something I want to change. So I would go ahead and delete it. Now, when I delete it, I would see a bunch of other things here that's, the text is white, and I might or might not change it. So we shall see. But I'm going to leave the text there as it is right now. And I'm gonna look over here, and I've actually downloaded an image here from Unsplash that I'm going to use, and I'm going to move that off my screen for a bit. And this is the download that I got it from. All right, I'm going to close it, and from here I'm just going to drag and drop my image onto my PowerPoint slide here. And now it's covered my text, but I'm not going to worry too much about it at this point. And I'm just going to expand. Well, if I want it to be on point, I'll probably just expand it like that and make it right on the page. Now, what has it done? It's covered my text, and I do not want to do that. So now on my screen here, you would notice over on this side, I have this selection pane open. I don't think that's open by default. It just happened to be there because I had it open previously. But if you don't know how to open the selection pane, you would go to, I believe it is, let's see, arrange. Oh, no. You would select this. Hang on. I have lost something. I have lost my my bar here. Okay, so what I normally do is I go to arrange and I'll see the selection pane in here, and I'll check that. Now because I've checked it before, it's going to close it. So now I'm going to check it again and it will open it. So what the selection pane does is it actually, it's like a layer editor, especially if you're familiar with tools like Photoshop or Illustrator. You would know, even Canva has this feature, you would know that every single item on this, and as you click here, you can see these elements at the back, which is my text, is being selected. So I know that there's something behind this image. And what I can do is I can let's click on this eye and hide it, and click on it again, and the image will come back up. So what I want to do is I want a picture to be in the back. So I will drag the picture and put it all the way at the back of the text. Now I'm going to take a look at it, and I'm thinking, well, it's a little bland. So what I want to do is I want to put the text in a frame, and frankly I might even remove the text completely really at this point, but I don't know yet again. So what I'm going to do is let me expand my screen here some so I can see a little better, is I'm going to go to shapes here, and I'm going to create 2 boxes. And again, all this design is really up to you. This is just how I want to do it. And okay, so I'm going to center it, and then I am going to change the fill of this, and I'm just going to click on Format Shape. I want this fill to be white, but I do want a solid line, and I do have a color scheme here. Now on my screen I have some color schemes here, so I'm gonna go with probably, oh, I'm kind of undecided. I like that one, so, but I can do either one. So let's go with this color. I'm gonna copy, and under the solid line here, this color, more colors, I am just going to paste the hex color in here. And now if I take, oh, you can see the line border has changed, but I don't want it to change just like that. I want a really thick and nice border. So I'm going to increase it. Oh, I don't know. Let me just enter 10 and see how I like it. Maybe let's go 20. Okay, now I've got that. I want to be, let's see what miter does. I want a sharp edge. You see that my edges have turned sharper there. You might not be able to see it, but when you get a chance and after this live stream, you can always come back and review what I did there. Now I want an inside box here. And what I can do is I can just duplicate this and make it smaller here like that, and I want to center it as well. And this time I don't want any line, but I do want the inside to be this like that. Okay, and now I might make it bigger. Let's see, center it. Maybe just a little bigger here, like that maybe. Okay. Okay, I think I kind of like that. Now I'll go back to my selection pane, and I will select both of these rectangles that I just created and put it all the way back above the picture. Now I can see whether I want to change any of this. Okay, for time purposes, you know, I don't want to really spend too much time here in here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to just, and I'm going to change that, and I'm going to change the size of this as well, just make it smaller so everything will fit nicely in here. I'm going to center that, and I'm going to put this right in the middle of this box. And same here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it right there, well, maybe there, and I'm just going to move this over here. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this. Now if I wanted to make it bigger, I sure can. But for the sake of brevity and demo, I'm gonna just leave everything as is. Now, if I want to get fancy with the image here, I can do a whole lot more things. You know, like I could do soft edges on the sides. I could, yeah, and I could really pump it up like that if I wanted to, but that's not really my style. You know, there's a lot of different things that you can do. All right, so I'm happy with this. Now let's move on to the next page. So this is the goals and objectives page, and I definitely don't want this color scheme because as you remember, this is my color scheme. So for maybe the lines, I would definitely want a darker color. So I might spring for that with the lines, because lines usually, if you choose a really light color and the lines are thin like this, it will come out not very clear. So let me expand this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these hexagons first. Okay. Whoops. My mouse keeps double clicking when I don't want it to, so it has deselected all the stuff that I just selected. I'm going to redo it again, select all these hexagons. And at this point, if I wanted to group this, I could, so that for later, if I want to change it again, it makes it easier. But right here again, under format shape, I would change it to more colors, and I'm going to paste that hex code, which is a little darker, over there. Now it's changed that, but there's still that other line here because that's a different shape. So I'm going to do that, select that, select that, oops, not that, select that, and again this color here, I'm going to change it to the darker one. The nice thing about PowerPoint is once you enter the color, it will show you the recent colors. Okay, great. Now at the bottom here, I might want to go with this lighter color here. Let's just copy that. And I select this rectangle at the bottom, and I go to format shapes. So shape options, I'll do more colors and paste that in there, and okay. So now that has changed as well. And then this text up here, I'll change it to the color that I had previously. So I'll do that for the color here, and I'll change that like that. I'm not quite sure whether I want it darker or not. Maybe I should text, right? Or maybe I should choose that one. So as you can see here, well, hopefully you can see it because it's kind of hard to see. But even though my text is a lighter color than the hexagons here, but they actually look alike because they are so similar and the lines are so thin. Okay, the next thing I want to change here is this bar right here. Now this bar, I happen to know, is under the master template. So master slides are very, very useful because when you change the master slide, everything else changes. Every slide that is based on that master slide changes as well. So because this line is on pretty much every page, as you can see here, so it makes sense to put it in a master page. So to do the master page, I would go to View, Master, and Slide Master. And now I can actually see here that line right there, okay, is there. That line, nope, sorry, might be up here. Oh, there we go. There we select that, and then I'm going to change that to, I'm going to go with a lighter color this time. Okay, and let's see what else I can change here. Maybe the text, right? This really won't affect the text that's on there right now, but if I create a new page that's not in the template, I want it to take the same design features as well. So in my master slide text, I will change that as well to that color that I have just that I chose previously. Whoops, no. Okay. And oh, right here and the bottom here, I'm going to change it to that light color that I had. And one more down here, I'm going to change it to that light color that I had. Okay. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to close my master, and you can see this one has also changed. This page has also changed, but the text still remains because the text is not under the master. It doesn't automatically pick up whatever my master has done there. Okay, so all right. So now let me take a look back. Let me zoom back again and see. Okay, so I'm happy with this page. I'm going to move on to the next page. Now the next page, I want it to be again maybe a different color than it was. So this text, I might choose something. Now I know in the template design, every page has got a slightly different color, and maybe I don't want it. Maybe I want just the handful of colors that my brand is all about. But for the sake of demonstration, maybe I'll change this one to these brown colors here. So the text, I will change to more colors. I'm going to paste this over here, and I've changed that text over here. And down here, maybe I will change it to that, maybe. And then that one, it's got a little teal color. I'm going to keep that maybe like that. All right, so actually I don't really like the brown, so I'm going to change everything back to this light that I really like. I really like that one. It's like a dusty color, and the text is that. Okay, and moving on to next one. Again, I will do the same thing over here with the color, with the text color, and here, down here, no, that's not text color, that's over here. Yeah, I'll change it to that lighter one. But what if I want this to be darker? We can do that. So this part of this is as a table and the other is not. So I'm going to change this first because this is easier. Let's say I want it to be dark with that one color. This one, what I'll do is I'll double click on it. I'll select, not everything, but I'll select that portion. I'll double click on it, and once I do, under format shape, you see the color in the background. I'm going to change it to that. Okay, now the thing that is left, uh-oh, I didn't move it just now, did I not? Yep, I'm going to move it back to where it was. Okay, there we go. So now I have these check boxes which are orange. Now what you might notice is that I cannot select these check boxes here, and the reason probably is because this table is on top of the check boxes. Do you remember? So if we go to selection pane and I have this selected, this table is above all the other check boxes here. So I can come to selection pane here and select these check boxes like that. Let me see here, probably that. Or another way to do it that sometimes I like to do, because you know, like here it's object 10, 12, whatever. I don't know what object 10, 12, or 13 is because what I see is a rectangle. So what I can do is I can go to arrange here at the top, and it says reorder objects. And now it will show me this. It will show me a visual representation of where these things are in the layer scheme. So I know that, see, these checkboxes are all behind this table. So I want to make things easy for me. Whoops. I want to move this. Okay, so I'm going to highlight this table and move it all the way to the back here. All right. And once I'm done, I can just, whoops, sorry, I just escaped, which is not what I want to do. When I escape, it doesn't apply it. So I'm going to go again to arrange and reorder objects and do it again. Nope, not too far. And then I'm going to click OK to exit out of here. And then now I can actually go and select these as they are. Now, once I know it, it's actually easier for me to go in here and just select it in the selection pane, because once I know what they are, nope, that's not it. 16 is not it. So I know it's 5 to 15. So I've just deselected 15 to 5. Okay, and again, at this point, if I want to group it, I can. Sometimes I do like to group things, and I can just do, I think it's, nope, that's not it. I'm so used to keyboard shortcuts in Adobe InDesign, but I do know, I think we can do right click and do group. Okay. And if I want to do the same for here as well, I can do that. So maybe, no. Okay, so it starts with 13, 30 to 20 maybe. So 30 to 20. And I think it was Option Control G. There we go. So now I have that. It makes it easier for me to select it for next time. I want to change that to that color. And now I want to change all of it to that color. Okay, and the same thing goes for here, you know. So sometimes once I'm able to select one of it, I can see where my objects are. So, okay, so that was 70, I think, to 61 or 60. So I'm going to select that. Option Control G for me to group it. And then I'm going to select that one. And I do think, let's see here, it's going upwards. So 36 to, right, Option Control G. Now I can just go in here and I can change that color, and I can change that color. All right. Okay. So, and then I'm going to move on to page 5, and I think I'm probably going to stop at page 5 right now. Maybe, we shall see. I'm having a lot of fun doing this. So, okay, I'm going to change that out, the text to that color. And we had the other one in a darker color like that. So, like, because this has 3 tables, I can actually select all of them. In fact, instead of doing it one column by one column, I can just go ahead and select that and do, there we go. And down here, again, I just like the lighter color for the bottom. So once again, here I can do, oops, that's text, so I'm going to change text to that color. And this doesn't really have a whole lot of options that I need to change, so I'm just going to do that. Now, but if you wanted to, you could definitely change more than that. You could change these here as well. So let's just do that. Sometimes because I'm zoomed out so far, it's harder for me to select some things. And then I can change it to maybe if I wanted the darker color like that. And let me zoom in here and select, see if I can select that one. Oh, I know why it can't be selected, because that text was blocking it. So I'm going to change it to that. How about that? Now what happens if I want to change some text? That's pretty easy, right? Like I just clicked on here and the text has changed for me. It's now a text that I can select and edit, so I can absolutely change this to whatever I want. I can even change the fonts if I don't like this font or the font size and so on and forth. Same with all these, and I can move them around if I wanted to. And then we come to this. Now this one has a lot of different things going on here. And I do believe this is a table. Now tables are a little different. So let's see here. First of all, I'm going to check and see if, definitely no lines. I'm going to Control A or Command A, whatever you're using, that will select the whole table in here. And let me go to table design, and now I can see in here text fill, probably not. Now I have what here, borders. Those see here, I don't think that those are borders. Maybe it's under shading. Nope, that's the background, which you can do as well if that's what you prefer. Whoops, now I just selected everything on there. See what I mean? I'm not as familiar with what you call it, PowerPoint as I like to be. And again, that's only because I do not use PowerPoint as much as that, as I do Adobe InDesign. So let me try that. Oh, right there. I think it's there. Whoops, I just changed my pen color. No, I'm going to change it back again. Wow. Select the inside, not the outside. Oh, that's right. So if I go back to design, I saw something just now where it says shape fill. I don't want to fill. Okay. So I'm just going to, whoops, I then moved it. Sometimes I gotta zoom in a little better. Okay. So I do know that table design, it might not be in effects either. I'm not sure. I don't think it's in effects. Inside borders, and I think I just changed it to something, to that color in the inside borders. And then over here, I'll probably need to change the, let me see, which is this one. Sometimes I'll just drag it out to see what I'm selecting. Oh, okay. So I'll just undo here, and I cannot select the in here. Okay, I had to change the inside borders, but I forgot to change the outside borders. I think it does have an outside borders or an all borders. And I think I messed up the sizing a little bit earlier. That's why it's like, it has this smaller, whoops. This is what happens when I don't zoom in enough and I can't really see what I'm doing. Right? So there. And you'll probably hear my cat here going. But okay, I'm not gonna make you sit through all that. But all these lines, I would also select them. Yeah, I'm can be quite a bit of a perfectionist. So, but off screen, I would come in here and fix that for sure. And then I'm gonna change that to that color. All right. And then I would do the same. Oh, I know what I did. I made it smaller, that's why. Okay, once again, I'm not going to make you sit through all that me because I've messed up the formatting, well, that's only because I'm so not used to, okay, all borders. I've changed that to that. Okay, and then now I'm going to change those up here as well. So I'm going to change that one. So I'm going to do it the same thing for every single one of these checkboxes. And again, this is much easier, really. Like, now I know in the selection pane, it's probably easier to select it in the selection pane than going one by one. So I know this 18, 20, 21. So I'll probably group it 21, 18. I'm going to put it together. 18 and 21 is together. And it seems to be like skipping one. 17. Put it together here. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Okay, 14. Was it 9? No, 9. I'm going to move it down up to 14. So this way I can select like multiples of them at one time. And you don't have to move them together. That's what I mean by being perfectionist. I can also hold down the Control or Command key and select different ones, you know, like that, instead of going one by one through all of these. Okay, not that one. My mouse is not wanting to do right by me. I don't want that one. Not that one, probably 10. Probably 8, and I know it's in here somewhere. Was it 15? Not 15. 14. There we go. So I really like using the selection pane in conjunction with what I'm seeing here. And once I have selected that, I can group them together like that. Oops, evidently I've selected something else here. So that's all right. I'm going to go back to format shape here, and I'm going to select like that. There we go. And basically I'm just going to go through every single one of these and probably group them and do the same thing. But in a nutshell, that's pretty much how I would go about doing this. And if you're finding you're spending way too much time on this, have someone do it for you. There's a lot of people out in Fiverr who probably can handle this, and this is not exactly rocket science. I'm sure they can figure it out as well. Anyway, there it is. I hope you found this helpful. If you have questions, definitely put it in the comments area, or send us an email, Lynette@thriveanywhere.com, and we'll help you figure it out. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you another time.